Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. We shall have a better name for that, maybe one day, but an in-depth VOD analysis gameplay look at the Taliyah, who just got buffed in 10.25, assuming those of you who read the patch notes, actually exist. Because apparently a lot of people don't realize that Jhin got nerfed and Samira got nerfed and so on. But a lot of people in high elo specifically are saying, hold up a second, now we can actually fight stuff with Taliyah and clear the jungle. Which is where she struggled a little bit, as we have a level 1 skirmish. Wouldn't be career high elo if we didn't. Taliyah could sort of match the damage output for sure, but she couldn't match the farming meta. She couldn't take advantage of all that experience because every time you queued, you had reduced damage on the follow-up. Now, though, that is gone, so mega damage on all the camps all the time. You can farm decently well, and when you get fed, when you have a lead, the assassination potential comes in. And that's something people don't talk enough about. They always think about Taliyah as, they know they get one shot from the combo. Everyone knows you get one shot from the combo, but I don't think people realize just how one shot you get. It's really instantaneous when it's landed with a perfect fluidity. Now, low ping does help. But let's just go over how she plays the game, how she gets fed, and, what kind of difference the changes make. I mean, you see here she's against a Kindred. They will be playing a different game on a different planet. But the Taliyah, even that first red buff, now if you've played any Taliyah, and I played quite a bit in Season 8, when she was actually meta, and for those of you who played a lot in Season 8, you can see the worked ground, only 2 worked grounds, and a lot of damage coming after the Q. You can actually afford to sit there, kite a little bit, and do a lot of follow-up damage. Watch the Krugs here. Worked ground on the left of the Krugs first, using E secondary to get that AoE damage, smite it as you do nowadays, kite to the right because they increase movement speed from the Krugs. Now you have room to use worked ground again, full damage on the Q. Go to the back of the Krug pit while kiting and autoing in between the cooldown, and then spam them with another Q. And you can see the follow-up damage actually does stuff, and you can auto on your way kiting to the Raptors. That's huge. This already, 208, with, a lot of resources, is significantly better than it was even prior to today. What does this mean? It means you can actually afford to get into lanes, means you can actually afford to contest crabs and get there first, and because you've got the W, you actually shred the shield, and against other aggressive junglers that might make your life a little difficult, that's a huge thing that's useful. Now, on the counterpoint, on the counter side here, let's flip to the Kindred. Yes, a red cycler is always quicker, but the thing is with Taliyah, you sacrifice a little bit of that speed, because that speed ramps up in farming very, very quickly once you get ahead. And of course, then your job is, as you will see, to take over the game. Her ultimate, her movement speed ability on the wall here, the rock surfing, lets you, as we have a gank in the mid lane from the Kindred level 3, it lets you move around the map significantly quicker than most. This is why we recommend things like Warwick to low elo players. Why? Because the W is activated, you can see low targets, you get around the map quicker. Why is Hecarim so good in gold plat? Same reason. Taliyah is sort of that high elo version of that, in that she's also a mage, which is supremely useful because people love to do things like Olaf top, Lucian mid, okay, we've got literally full AD here, so any tanks on their side are going to have to itemize. It's painful being a tank in this situation, because if Taliyah gets mega fed, you still got 4 other AD threats, I'm assuming. We don't have any somewhat cheese, but this is nice, okay? So, you see a gank mid lane. The instinct for most of you is to simply say, I keep farming. Mid lane, you suck, you should not suck, and don't feed the jungler. But Kindred comes mid lane, gets the kill, no red buff. That tells Taliyah everything she needs to know. That was a quick rotation, must have been blue side. There's no ways you gank level 3 without red unless you did that. And now sets the trap. Now Kindred, I think, knows. Okay, hold on a second. We go for this, I die. And it should really cross the brain. But again, the first gameplay we did was Challenger, then Master, then Grandmaster. Now we're Master Tier. So you're going to see a few more mistakes being made. There is a big difference. I mean, it's delusional not to think that there's a big difference between 0 LP Master and 1K LP Challenger, just like there's a big difference between 0 LP Master and Diamond 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 was on a separate universe. This is nice, so I don't see this a lot. So there's no flash, it's communicated in the chat. This means Taliyah knows. Once Q is on cooldown, nice long cooldown early. Look at that damage though. W, into the E, into the Q follow through, auto attack down, and then you get to use another Q again. Olaf TP's in actually, to assist. How kind of you. Thank you, Lord Viking. What do we do after this? Now this is the big thing. I did the video on the main channel, I will put it on the end screen, about how you must jungle in Season 11. And we analyzed the default jungler. And these kind of players would present themselves and they wouldn't take them, and it costs you so much. The Kindred just died with no red buff. Where's Kindred gonna go next? What do you think? The options are as follows. Tier 2 Gromp, that's not gonna be up until, 4 minutes. 4 or 5. The Crab's up here, and subsequently the Wolves will be up after the Gromp, so there's literally no reason to go bottom side. Wants the red 100%. Taliyah, even though you saw this was much quicker, cannot solo that without losing a bit of HP, and it could make it a kind of a risky invade because the Olaf now used its TPS to go back to base, walk on up with his, 2 pixeled sandals. If you get caught here, yeah, there's no Victor. Yes, it's a 2v2, but you will be the one collapsed on first. So, what do you do? Let's try take something anyway. Raptors are easy. We've got the E, we've got the knockback to kite it out to avoid damage, and then we do have the smite as well, if necessary. In this case, not going to do it because the follow-up damage on the Q is, once again, not nerfed. Beautiful. Now, I don't like this. Okay. I like it because you see the Malphite, but at the same time, the Malphite, you know he's there because you watch him walk down physically. I kind of want to see the Kindred. I just want to see what's going on. And you would see them right now. And that for me is more important as a jungler. Why? Because I want to deny the mark. I want to get this. I now don't need my blue buff because I have a blue buff. Thank you, Kindred. The job is done, right? You see the Malphite push him back. WE combo into the Q. Easy crab. The shield, the mark has now been removed. So for me, this is interesting. Because you want to see, right, if the mark gets removed and broken from me, okay, who has the mark? Olaf. This is big in terms of Kindred tracking. Now, what she does here is actually goes and probes the red. So let's just analyze it step by step. She goes and probes the red, knowing the Kindred's on it. I think this is a waste of time. I think it's very unlikely, in Master Plus, that a Kindred doesn't kite this up, knowing full damn well that Taliyah's there and can destroy you. So obviously you're going to kite it up. I think normally kiting it into the bush would be a good idea just in case Taliyah does invade, because currently here, if Taliyah shows up, she'll just smite it. So this is a little bit risky from the Kindred. And Challenger, I don't think you're in this situation anyway, but the Kindred wouldn't be so nonchalant with the red. And the Taliyah wouldn't be so blind just poking the Qs because you can see it through the fog of war. Let's actually see how the Kindred does this. Because you don't know where the Taliyah is. And how much gold does the Kindred have in pocket here? 78. I understand the need for a dagger, but I think I'm control warding. Maybe it's a bit passive. What do you guys think? Maybe it's a bit passive to control ward, but this is scary to me because look where your lanes are and you have no idea. She could literally just be sitting in the bush, no? Like, what do you know? Okay, there, okay. We see the Taliyah. She hits the plant. But again, she could have just hit the plant and walked back up. This is not good jungling. You guys need to be way more safer than that. Way more safe than that, rather. Way safer than that, or way more safe? Or combine it for And now smites, loses this. Okay. So, great. Bad from the Kindred, good from the Taliyah. What does she do next? Follows this up, waste of time, completely. You either trap or you leave, okay? Secondly, what she could have done is mega invaded this. You only do that if you have top prio, if you have mid vision, because if you do this, now I see this in low elo, if you, I had a Rengar against me the other day, I was playing Flex Q, and he just walks into my red buff, level 2. He did red, blue, walks into my red buff. Now bear in mind, I'm Sejuani. Why? What? We killed him. It was just a blind level 2 invade. He had no prio. People collapsed, even in a mid-tier elo game in Flex Q. You're dead. So you don't want to make this play. However, you want to pay attention to the fact that the mark went onto the Olaf. Now, the reason that Taliyah doesn't do the blue is because she has a blue, right? She has a blue. However, you're taking the wolves on your way down to double crab to deny the mark. If you realize that the mark was put onto the Olaf and the Kindred had nowhere else to be but topside, and you know that the Kindred took red, you know most likely looking for some kind of gank in that area, lane gank or through the river, right? Either this way or this way. That is, you know, that should be your challenger level tracking. That should be completely understood. I don't like the idea of giving a free buff. I think you have total domain over this. You don't have Prior on the bottom lane. Ashe support isn't working out. The Misfortune is dead. The Kaiser's 2-0. If they decide, okay, they are low. In Taliyah's defense, they're low, but we know this now. We didn't know this here. So, I still kind of like the idea of either securing my wolves and counter-ganking top lane, or taking my blue and then sequencing down to the crab if you wish to do so. Good pathing here against the wall. Okay, very nice against the wall because the Victor, I think, warded. Yeah, there you go. We saw him move down and up. Basics, jungle basics. You've also got cleanup kills on the bottom lane that you can look for. So here you don't have to do the crab. Okay, that must be warded here. No warded, just good instincts. Just good instincts. Okay, good. And then you here, as we do this, you see the Kindred lane ganking on the top side. So everything has come to pass as we would have expected. The bottom lane lack of Prior kind of sucks. But that's just fundamentals. Again, should be avoided easily. And now you're most likely going to lose your blue buff. So you have two choices again. What do you think you should do? What would you do right now? Do I play music or elevated music while you decide? What do you honestly think? What are the options? We can assess. Bot lane reset. A little bit of disparate timing between Kaiser and Alistar. We didn't know that. Tier 2 Grump is up. Tier 2 Wolves are up. You can have supreme XP denial of the Kindred here. Now, I don't like the idea of losing a buff, but I do like the idea of stealing all of this. That's why I think if you're gonna make this play, the blue down is a little bit more realistic in terms of ignoring top lane and experience denial. I don't like leaving Grump either, but if you want to make this play, where you sort of say, you know what, take my tier 1 Grump, enjoy, I have blue wolves, I can take this, gank mid lane again, and then you can basically flex read. Do I want to invade your Raptors if the Kindred is here? Or do I want to fall back down to take my tier 2 Raptors and Krugs? Or do I simply want to reset before opening up my options further? I think that might have been a bit more of a realistic play. Let's see what happens. Repeat gank mid lane. Very nice. Q through. W. Great W. The E is a little off, but dies anyway. So now we're forgiving the counter jungling. We're not counter jungling. You know Kindred gank top lane? And so basically you're going to try and cut the Kindred off here. The Kindred's pinging. Just look at the minimap often. The Taliyah knows the Kindred's on the blue. The problem is if you miss your spells, Kindred can dodge them. You see? Look at this. Kindred's dodging the spells. If no one rotates, you're dead. You see? Knowing your matchups. Kindred, right, stole your blue, has a fresh red, whereas our Taliyah does not, and just got remarked, okay? We didn't talk about that. The Taliyah just got remarked, I believe. It doesn't always show in the replays, but it shows here. You know? I'm not feeling necessarily the extravagance of this play, but... Okay, so you would have seen the runes at the beginning. We didn't talk about it, but yeah, the sudden impact isn't good. You want that cheap shot. Eyeball Ravenous always. And then you can go precision with a presence of mind because she's so mana hungry. But I do like the sort of Nimbus Cloak, absolute focus, upfront damage. It's really strong. Okay, so he Hex Flashes, which I missed. The rotation from the Olaf comes through. The Lucian also is here. Followed with a Q, lots of damage. And basically she gets really fed from this. It's a really good early game. Again now though, what are your decisions? You see Victor here. Two are dead. Okay. Well, one is dead at the very least. You could counter jungle, but with the Lucian resetting, I think this is a bit of Let's have a look here. Let's see. Things that shouldn't work in Master Tier are working. You know that Taliyah's there, guys. But great. Good jungling, right? You know, you're watching by F keys, okay, they just had a fight. You know your damage output, the throughput with the WE combo. Let them push the wave because it's here. Take him out. It's beautiful. She's going to want to get the cannon minion because jungle life. And also reset it. But now you want to push the whole thing because this fat wave, or as I said in the last gameplay, the wave is the wave, is going to really push in. So we want to deny as much as possible. Kindred gets free Raptors though. I need some H2O. H2O achieved, right. What do we know? This paid off, but it was really risky. I preferred the idea of denying, counter jungling, ganking, and shoving. Then of course you can collapse and take all of this. It worked out great. Good read on the Malphite that he was going to push the wave because it was in a really great position for Olaf and really bad for Malphite. Which means you know full well, when Kindred spawns, she's gonna try and get the mark. She's gonna try and take a blue side. She's gonna try and catch up into the game. What a great game. This is exactly what would happen in your games, right? You're in Diamond, you're in Platinum, Gold, Silver. This is what we're used to. Everyone doing random things in Dying. But because of all of that stuff on the top side, Mega Fed, you have your ult up. Let's go. Sorry, you're lost to replay that to restart it. The Kai'Sa then flashes through that. Doesn't want to get stunned by the Taliyah. Dies anyway. Gets a 1-for-1 though. So for her, that's great. Now the Kindred, you're out of mana. But you see the damage that still comes through from the Kindred. So that's a great burn by the Taliyah. Great rotation immediately. Ignore your camps. Too often people fall back. Let's go. Let's chase down your Taliyah. You've got Q through. Boom, boom, boom. You have E if you can hit it. It's kind of tough though. Oh, come on, Kindred. This is why Taliyah, when Taliyah is strong, it's beautiful. Such power. Now, you know, as I was going to say, you know that the Victor's there. This is a great roam from the support. Play this champion, guys. Play this champion. This is great. So you get caught out here. Great run by the support, recognizing, okay, you know what, my ADC's dead. No reason just running down and chilling. Let's rotate down here with the Victor, who has Prio and has disconnected, so you know that. So you want to be very careful about this crab. You also know that this blue is up, which is of no consequence currently. But this is why you go Ravenous. But the disengage and kiting, okay, the stun from Victor doesn't come through really, so the stun from the Alistar does, but the knockback from the W into the E, great rotation by everyone else. It's beautiful. Now you're low, so I don't think you should cheat any more than you're cheating. Malphite's rotating on the map. We see that. There's a baby raptor here. We just secure this. Very nice. And now we can easily kite out. Look at the damage now with the Sword Boots and Last Chapter and a Smite. This was the biggest problem before. I don't think we want to... You could look, I think, honestly, let's be honest here, I think you could look to make a counter gank or play here. Just purely because you know the Kindred's going to look to get 6. That's a great pause from the blue and the Gromp, and could potentially look to make another play on the bottom side, knowing that this is the win condition. The Kai'Sa is fed, the Alistar is fed. We can try and make plays here, but she chooses to sequence upwards and go straight for the Herald, okay? Because the Malphite's here. They were pinging it out. So, you know, you kind of want to hit this plant, make sure he's not there, but I understand the reluctance to sort of go straight up and counter gank bottom lane and so on. They've got enough wards, but the Kindred can get around those wards. While she does this, look at this. Gap in vision, gap in vision. So that ward isn't exactly the best. But look at the damage here on the Herald. There's really no match. Very easy. Go ahead and secure it. Hit the eyeball. Right, what do we have now? Kindred unknown. If they didn't gank bottom lane, they must be on top side on the red. There we go. Level 8 to level 6. Walk in the jungle. Don't overcommit though because of the Victor, and your mid lane is not in a position. But you do have an Olaf, so this immediate movement down I don't like. You can't scan obviously, so the control wards come in big time. I think you really should have kept this pressure up, hit this, and really suffocate the Kindred here. You've got the Olaf, who is a little low on resources, but it's risky. I think you could still hit the plant and apply pressure, don't you? It's definitely worth considering, because you have ult up again at 41. So that's quite a high cooldown, right? It's like 2 minutes? It's almost 3 minutes. Jeez. I've been playing this game a while. That thing's been nerfed a lot of times. Great arrow by the Ashe. See that hesitation move by the Kindred? Nice hesitation. Doesn't walk in just yet. No, now you leave. Now you leave. Now you leave. I don't want to fight this unless it looks great with mid lane assistance. Although Victor isn't paying attention whatsoever, apparently, so why don't you take a seat on the bench? Or, you know, flash away, as you will. Has Herald. And now go top lane. This is really weird. I'm trying to find an angle that helps you, but I suppose the best thing for me to commentate on this game is that when random things happen, be ready. Be ready. Look and be ready, because now you burnt the Victor's flash. You know the Kindred's in the area. You know full well that your ult is currently up. They don't know. They don't know where you went exactly or what you're intending to do. So when Olaf baits out this fight, patience. A lot of patience, because you're kind of like a pseudo-assassin. Hit your WQ over the wall, burn that flash as well. Hop over, wait for the Kindred ult to finish, and then just spam them down. Kindred will do a lot of damage here, so you have to kite very well. But at this point, you got a lot of gold. Watch this. It's brilliant. And the Malphite's super low, so he could try and go in, but if he hits 1 Q or anything, you're dead, so it's better to recall with the Baron. The Rift Herald. Well played. 703, Luden's Echo completed. Now, for me personally, what I'm thinking about here is, yes, all of this is up, but the objective on the map is the Drake, and we've got this to deny. And again, Kindred is going to be going bottom side. And bottom lane is, of course, not in the best position. Victor TPs. Malphite leaves the game. Does Malphite actually not come back? No, there he comes back. Yeah. Deny the mark. Let's use the Herald. Let's make a play. Let's go. No flash either. Zone him out. Look at the damage. Misses, unfortunately, but okay, they didn't both need to flash, but so look, you're right. We can use the Herald here. And then you can look to Drake. This is great. Now, all of this, what you want to do is continue this invasion. Look at this. Complete deny. Force roams from the support. Force roams from the top lane. And now with the Ludens completed, you can actually just rinse clear, okay? We've got knowledge that the Kindred's on the top side. You're not concerned about any dragons being stolen. So, sequence down. Look to make that play ourselves. You got 1,300 gold. Most likely looking for a Zhonya's second. You know, I think you can go Darkseal and Mejai's as well still. The standard builds are pretty... They haven't changed much. You've got the Void stuff, you've got the Decap. All of that's the same for Taliyah, but this is a good play. Because you know the Kindred's up here, you've denied camps. They're going to try and kill the Olaf again, which they succeed in doing. But this just gives you absolute free domain over bottom lane now. And because you're so fed, there's not much I can do. Look how quickly she does these dragons. It's really nicely done. Right, you can dive bottom lane with your ult, but it's an Alistar Kai'Sa, so it's kind of risky. You can go mid lane, no flash still, so you can abuse that. And you can see that Taliyah was thinking about it. At this point, if you hit, you're stunned, but he can disengage. Victor's disengage is so nice. But there you go. Taliyah ult, miss your spells. Doesn't matter, because you just spam Q. Malphite comes in for no reason and double kill. There you go. Tilted. 9-0 for Taliyah gameplay. Kindred, okay. Let's play. Kindred thinks, you know what? I can do it, guys. I can do it. Here we go. Alright, so the Kindred's just sitting in the bush thinking, hey, I can surprise them. W's not out, W's just used, but the problem is that cooldown is 13 seconds. And she doesn't need it. So, close though, close. I mean, a Kindred that wasn't 2-5 and 2. A Kindred that was more fed would actually do damage there, but at this point with the Ravenous healing and the amount of AP that's being dished out and the Lucian assistance, nothing she can do. In terms of tracking now, at this point, you're mainly fixated on objective secures, getting those final plates, pushing the towers, elevating the game state. Kindred, again, you don't know 100% where they're going to go. I would predict for the blue buff to head in that direction. Try and get a mark or something from the Raptors, but the Kindred here is obviously not pathing with the most logic. So what we do is we see the bottom lane there. You see the bottom lane come through, okay? Which means you can just sequence all of this, and you could, if you're not Taliyah, lane gank, but with Taliyah you can lane gank. Raptors are... Krugs, rather. Visual glitch in the replay. Olaf is dead again. I mean, look at the scoreboard here. The Lucian's done a nice job, but it's really a two-man show. There's Kindred, you see, so coming down, as you would predict, visual confirmation tells you what's going on. And now you can set a trap. Scan as you set the trap like the Kindred just set on you, except you're fed, you know, and Kindred isn't. So if Kindred face checks that, I wouldn't face check that Kindred. Ashe. That Ashe W is insane. Just what an ability. See, now they're fighting bottom lane, and Taliyah says, you die, I'm gonna kill them with one shot, woohoo! And now I can basically take care of this. Ashe arrow comes through. You'd want to be careful though, because a fed ADC is scary. In high elo, ADC is still good. But watch this, let's see. The cooldowns are not that high, because you can Q and kite while your cooldowns are up. What are they gonna do? You just throw Qs out. You just throw Qs out. The problem is, you gotta hit your Ws. W misses there, but it's Kai'Sa, so... I mean, worked ground, right? The mana cost is 1. So if you need to last hit someone quickly, just chuck it out, right? If otherwise you're not in worked ground, the cooldown is 2.31 seconds. A spam ability. You know, you just keep spamming this in between the massive skill shots and one-shot potential you have. And it's more than enough. Victor thinks he's going to be able to do something. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's amazing what happens when you provide an environment for a champion to thrive to get the power spike. Without the Q buff that we just had, she isn't able to farm well enough to actually compete to get to this level. So you're always playing from behind. And Taliyah doesn't want to play from behind. You can because you scale nicely. You've got wave clear. Once you get your items, you're good. But she couldn't get ahead like this. And I think this game's pretty much in the bag. So let's speed up a little bit because we kind of went through the early game a little slowly. You see a fight here, you ult directly to it. There should be no concerns right now. Went for the Rylai second. That's a classic as well. Especially for kiteable teams, range teams, the Rylai's was always a good buy, and now even with the slow and the HP and the 90 AP, it's really great. There you go. That was in slow motion for you. Why not? Cinematic. Get trapped, but because you've got HP, off we go. So I think here into the Rylai's, into the Zhonya's, but yeah, that's also possible itemization. I mean, if you're Taliyah, what do you do? It's so difficult because the threat of that W is insane. Now, why you can dodge it, but then Qs are just spamming out every 2 seconds. Ability haste is good on the champion. So is penetration and raw AP. Okay, you gotta be careful here. That's a stopwatch, and Q will be off cooldown. Victor, though. Hey, double kill ADC. Woo! 3 and 6 now. That's great. That's exactly what you're looking to do. Objective focus next. Olaf, you know, while this was going on, Olaf says, okay. TY for base. Dragon's up soon. So we're sequencing up here with Dragon up soon, I assume, just to get the buffs and everything. You got 1,700 gold. Dragon's up. They've got 2 dead. I probably, in your games, don't do this, please. Don't do this. Just hit this. Do it quickly and then reset. Because doing the wolf camp might give her the Zhonya's, you see. She still has 800 gold left. So she didn't need the wolf camp to get Zhonya's. And a control ward. You know, she's leaving base here with 746 gold. What does this do? What does taking that do whatsoever? Nothing. You could have achieved the same thing immediately and gone straight. Now, there's no risk for this. So, on one hand, you could have afforded to do this and go back to base if you really needed to. On the other hand, if you just reset and buy and go straight there, there's no risk because they're not going to collapse on you. However, I don't believe in tempting fate for comebacks. If there's a free dragon, I want the free dragon. I don't want to waste time doing this, resetting, and then everyone's up and able to actually collapse. Now, obviously, they're dealing with the Olaf, but he's out of mana. If Kai'Sa comes, and Victor comes, and they have one good fight on your bottom lane, you know, you're kind of... You know what I mean? Just do the dragon and a reset. Because you could have done it by now. I mean, sure, the Kindred, for some reasons... Don't do that. Don't do that if you're the Kindred. But, yeah. There you go. So let's just see the timestamps, because I don't believe this will go on for much more now. I mean, you've got total control, you got the dragon, you got the marks. At this point, I don't like falling back to your camps here. Like, I understand she needs the blue buff. So, get the blue buff, right? But then we're looking to rejoin our team. I don't think this is farming time. This is, end the game time. She has ult, though. You know, like, you want to be here for your team for now. Like, I see a lot of low elo junglers in this situation. We'll carry on down this path. Join your team. You've got the flank from the Olaf. Make a play, end the game. That's it. Or just kill everyone. I'll look back at the Taliyah. So see what I mean? See what I mean? Like, these plays are risky if you're not in them. So, let's watch from the Taliyah's perspective. I just wanted to see if I was missing anything. Turns out I wasn't. Malphite's gonna go ham here. She has Zhonya's and... Well, Zhonya's doesn't really do much against Malphite, but... She has Zhonya's and, Rylai's. With Ravenous Hunter. With 18 kills. With Zhonya's. Boom. Alright. There you have it. I don't think there's much more to say about this game. Hopefully you got a window into how she clears, what we're looking for pressure-wise, some knowledge of jungle routes and so on. We'll skip ahead here. You see the point that by skipping ahead, the game is stalled out for 2 minutes? And that's why you don't mess around and tempt things. But you just need one good fight and you can win. So we'll watch the fight. Don't forget to head to the main channel for the new videos that I've been putting out. I'm going to try to put a few more out to go with these. Mage junglers like Taliyah, I should do another video like that with a core breakdown. The idea really is to navigate the early game, put yourself in a position to be ahead. And if not, to at least scale with grace. You know, you're not inting, you're not super far behind. And Taliyah does that better than most because she can actually defend herself. She can actually do things that other mage junglers just cannot. And this allows her to take over games in a unique way. You know, she's got that ultimate and the movement speed passive, which really does help from the jungle position. A lot of mage junglers struggle in that arena. But as you can see here, once you get ahead, wave clear, one-shot potential, mobility. Welcome back, Taliyah. Welcome back. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll pop up the end game screen so you can see the final KDAs as you wish. But thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next VOD review, gameplay review.